pale creature crawls across a lonely dirt road. A strange figure wanders through a Colorado driveway. A family in Las Vegas claims something 10 feet tall landed in their backyard. That's just scratching the surface. These are even more mysterious beings not from Earth caught on camera. Back in 2022, a man was driving along a rural dirt road at night when his headlights hit something he'd never seen before, or thankfully since. At first he thought it was a person, but the closer it got to his headlights, the clearer he could make it out, and once it was fully illuminated, he knew this was not a person. The thing is pale, spindly, crawling on all fours. It also has no fur and doesn't seem to move like any known animal. Understandably, the guy threw the car in reverse and just backed the hell out of there. This has become one of the most famous cryptid alien videos on the internet. A few years back in La Junta, Colorado, a woman named Vivian Gomez noticed her porch camera had picked up something in the middle of the night. When she checked the footage the next morning, she was pretty confused by what she saw. There was some kind of figure wandering around her driveway. It didn't look human, at least not quite. It looked like some sort of alien-type creature, or a goblin, or a Dobby from Harry Potter. This thing has a lot of nicknames. Vivian threw the clip on Facebook, and it went absolutely nuts, over 10 million views in under a week. Before long, actual news crews were showing up at her door. She said when she showed her son the footage, they were both just standing there going, "What the heck is that?" She was not particularly scared by what it was, though she did quietly go fix her screen door afterward, just in case. The creature never showed up on camera again, though. To get a more expert take, reporters tracked down Chuck Zukowski, a UFO field investigator who's been looking into UFO sightings, Bigfoot encounters, and cattle mutilations for over 30 years. He's delivered hundreds of lectures on the subject and even has his own show on the Travel Channel, following him and his small crew as they investigate recent alien and creature sightings. On top of that, he's an engineer, so he approaches this stuff methodically, doing his best to find rational explanations before jumping to conclusions. Zukowski watched the La Junta footage and said it genuinely threw him off. "I'm watching it over and over again and I'm going, this doesn't make sense," he said. What caught his attention especially was the way the figure moved. "I've done enough investigations to know that aliens don't walk like us. Because the gait is off, the way the arms are swinging is off. That tells me, okay, that's a possibility, this could be good," end quote. He also said he understood why a lot of people were skeptical at the same time. As he put it, "What I try to do is I try to gather evidence and put the evidence out there, and it's for the viewers to decide." So, as always, what do you all think that this was? Now, if you've frequented the weird/paranormal side of the internet, you've likely seen this image here. It's pretty famous. The photo's been floating around since 1993. There are more images and a pretty interesting backstory too. So back in July of 1993, the Italian Air Force was alerted to an unidentified aircraft that had entered Italian airspace. An intercept wing was scrambled, made visual contact with the craft, and was given the green light to fire on it. Just before the missile reached its target, the pilots reported something strange. A ball of light appeared to separate from the main craft and fall away toward the ground. The primary craft, they said, was destroyed. Fragments of it rained down on the town of Abruzzi. That's where a man named Filberto Caponi enters the story. When he stepped out of his home, he came face to face with this strange being right there at his door. Caponi kept his cool long enough to grab his camera and photograph the thing. By the time he'd gone back in to put the camera away and returned outside, the creature was gone. Caponi published the photographs in a local newspaper, and it wasn't long before the police came knocking and supposedly left with his photos. The newspaper refused to hand over their copies, thus why we still have some grainy images left over today. We hear a lot of alien abduction stories, but I can't think of any piece of footage that claims to show one actually being captured on camera, aside from this. In the security camera footage, we see a worker at a warehouse walk through a gate. It's 11:16 p.m. and I mention the exact time because it is important to the story. So as the guy steps to the other side of this gate, there's a sudden flash of light and the camera goes black. The cameras were out for just under 2 hours before the picture comes back. And then the man appears again. He crawls out of the shadows. He's now on all fours. He throws up and then stands back up, staggering around confused. So, of course, the question is, what happened in those 2 hours when the cameras were out? Was this an alien abduction caught on camera? Was it a hoax? Share your thoughts down below. This creepy footage reportedly comes from a farmer in the United States. Been dealing with animal mutilations on his property, and when he heard his cows panicking one night, he armed himself and ran outside, only to capture this thing on camera, skulking around the edge of the property. Ran off at crazy speed before he could get a shot off. That's the story anyway. Is this footage pretty dubious? Admittedly, yes, but it's creepy looking regardless, and there are plenty of farmers, especially in the United States, with stories just like this, especially when it comes to strange cattle mutilations. In Compton, California, this piece of footage has become pretty famous too. A woman named Jessica Ortiz checked her Ring doorbell camera one night and did a complete double take. At around 1 a.m. on June 5th, 2025, the camera picked up this small, bizarre-looking figure moving across her driveway. It wasn't a dog, wasn't a cat, it wasn't any animal she could place, and it definitely was not a person. It moved fast, too, darting past the porch. A lot of people watching the footage have landed on the same word: alien. Ortiz was pretty shaken when she first saw it, genuinely questioning her own sanity for a moment, but she was not imagining things. The footage shows what it shows, and nobody's been able to explain it away. Her son took one look and immediately insisted that she call the police. She checked with her neighbors, and nobody had been out at the hour the footage was captured. Ortiz was also adamant the video was not staged or tampered with. What you see is genuinely what her camera captured. She's still not entirely sure what to make of it, but her take on the whole thing, she believes the universe is just too vast for humans to be the only sentient life in it. Hard to argue with that, really. Now, we've talked a lot about mysterious creatures on land, but let's not forget, the ocean covers over 70% of our planet, and the truth is, we've barely scratched the surface of what's down there. Countless species are still completely unknown to science, and sometimes one of them gets dragged up to the surface. That's exactly what happened to Roman Fedorstov, a Russian fisherman who's built up quite a following online for regularly sharing the weird things he pulls out of the sea. He's no stranger to bizarre catches, but even by his standards, this one was pretty freaky. What came up on his line was this dark gray slimy creature with a strange lump sitting on top of its body and what appeared to be a tail beneath it. The bulbous shape, it definitely makes it look less like a fish and more like something that crash landed from another planet. People online immediately started comparing it to the Martians from Mars Attacks. Others said it looked like something from an H.P. Lovecraft novel. Fedorstov thinks it was most likely a smooth toadfish from the Olympus family, native to the northern Pacific. The alien-like appearance probably down to decompression, so as the creature was hauled up from the deep, the change in pressure caused its body to swell up, giving it that bizarre, disfigured look. So yeah, there's a grounded explanation here, but it still goes to show how little we really know about the creature swimming around deep in the ocean. Now, when this footage first hit the internet, a lot of people wrote it off, because it's hard to actually see anything weird at first, but the more people studied the footage and dug into this case, the stranger it seemed. This one comes out of Las Vegas. On the night of April 30th, 2023, a bright green streak cut across the sky. More than 20 people across several states reported seeing the same thing that night. Shortly after, a man named Angel Kenmore called 911. He told the operator there was something in his backyard, a tall, skinny, greenish creature, somewhere between 8 and 10 feet tall, hiding behind equipment on his property. Before the police arrived, Kenmore and his family grabbed a camera and went out to investigate themselves. And looking really closely at the footage, people pointed out there does seem to be something really tall moving past the top of the fence there. And a Reddit user named Matt73132 also posted this still. Claim is that this is a second creature lurking further into the backyard. It's hard to make out, but zooming in, and yeah, that looks a lot like an alien face to me. A crime scene reconstruction analyst named Scott Roeder also decided to go through the footage frame by frame. He said he identified at least 2 separate beings in the video. That has been our video. I will catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next one.